Hey, what's going on, people? Get a little ride in tonight. It's a little windy. It's always windy, but the temperature today was like, I think the high was about 60 degrees, and yeah, it's very, very windy. Usually you can tell by the trees and stuff, maybe, but usually when it's warm like this, you'll get the winds with it because a front's coming through. So I guess there's a warm front going through the Midwest. Trying to see how far they are on this construction project here. Getting there. I was trying out this little camera. It's like a dash cam or something, an app, but I forget the name of it. But you can probably find it. And it records. It's probably not going to be something I want to record a lot with, so I'm going to turn it off because it basically, it gets your memory pretty full on your phone right away. So, that's pretty cool though. It's just a GPS unit, or like a dash cam. So I'm going to turn this off. The only thing about this is it doesn't have I can't use my rear camera. So I have to use my front camera on the phone. And it doesn't have the, it's too close, in other words. It doesn't have the fishbowl or the wide angle, so it's pretty useless to kind of film with. So I'm going to turn that off. I just wanted to try it. Give a little bit of different perspective. But anyway, it is Tuesday. And like I said, it's about 60 degrees, and this is not going to be a long ride at all. I just wanted to get out here, and it's a little chillier than I thought when you start riding, of course. But I wanted to, I don't know if you guys really enjoy listening to me ramble about the NFL, but I'm going to do it one more time because I think what went down with the Bills and the Bengals, I'm sure everyone, unless you live in a cave, everyone has heard about it. With the injury that occurred on the field, because it's worth mentioning something. And let me skip by these cars, but anyway, the injury that occurred on the field pretty much took the internet by storm and social media, as you know, and it was a big fiasco. They had to cancel the game, and I think that might have been the first time ever in history that something like that happened. So anyway, you've probably been following it. I don't watch the news much, but I did hear that the young man did pull through, and he's okay now, and he's been on social media chatting with folks and stuff, so that's a good sign. But I have some really mixed emotions about that whole deal, because if you think about it, I did a statistic and I looked up something. 1.8 seconds, okay? Every 1.8 seconds, a human being leaves this earth and passes, okay? They go on, but I'm just saying they leave the earth. So it's what's interesting. What I find interesting about that whole ordeal is why, and it's not the guy's fault, and it's not his family's fault. I mean, yeah, he was just trying to play a game of football, and you know, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty at the time, but he did pull through, and yes, he did go into the ICU, and it was local here in one of our Cincinnati hospitals, which I've been into many times. Many years when I was a tech, I'd go into the hospital and service them and stuff like that. But my point is, why? I mean, maybe because it's the NFL, and maybe because he plays football. I don't know, but nobody watches. It's just amazing to me how that got so blown up on social media and around the world because he had that injury, and it kind of just escalated into this crazy popular thing. And I'm not downplaying the injury at all. Yes, he could have lost his life. I understand that, and yeah, that's tragic, and I feel for him and his parents, all the family that had to witness that. But my goodness, what is wrong with our country? What is wrong with people in social media and using his name and hashtags and all that crap? And I think a lot of that, to me, I could be wrong, but I think a large majority of those people that were hashtagging about in his name and all that stuff, do you think for a minute that maybe, just maybe, they were using that to get their own publicity? To I don't know. I mean, not everybody, because there's a lot of people in the world that's good, genuine, loving people that, of course, felt for the man, and it was a terrible situation. But to me, it's just odd how that blew up the way it did. I mean, bigger than Elvis, bigger than anything. And true, Elvis, at the time, we didn't have cell phones and social media, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of people on this earth that pass away that are way, 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 way more well known than maybe that guy, that never gets very few acknowledgement as far as consolation and stuff. That, I don't know, it's weird that how just because he was an NFL player, how it blew up so big. And I don't know if that's just the NFL, and the NFL is just that big in this country. It's just bizarre to me, that's all. And I wanted to just kind of talk about a little bit and put it in perspective, because yeah, every 1.8 seconds, right, somebody, a human being, passes away. Now, birth, there's like a death clock. It's pretty gruesome, but there's a death clock on the internet that you can watch in real time, like how many deaths and how many births are happening like in real time. And it's like 2 to 1. There's more people being born than, by like double, I think. Could be wrong, but more so than people that pass away. But my gosh, I'm watching that. I mean, I saw it, as many of you did, as many as you have, when that event took place. Yeah, it sucked. I mean, it was I felt for his family probably more than anything. And I just think maybe because it's something that the NFL never experienced before. I don't think anyone on the football field ever had to have CPR or anything. I could be wrong, but it's very rare. So a lot of these NFL players, they're young. They've not experienced life yet. They haven't seen these type of things, and it hit them pretty hard. But just the way that the whole world blew up is bizarre. It's very bizarre to me how one person could get that much exposure, I guess is a good term. And not that it's his fault, and not that he did anything wrong, or his family. I just don't understand why, as a society, that we do that for someone or over someone that really, honestly, I would say 99% of football fans that watch that game never even knew the guy. He's not a position player like a fantasy football player. He's a defensive back, I believe. And I personally never heard of the guy before this game. I don't think many people did. I don't know if he's a rookie or what, but he's just not, one of the more well-known players. But now, of course, he's a household name, and it's just weird how that works. I don't know. It's just bizarre. So what does that tell me? It tells me that maybe we got a problem with, sensationalism or glorification in this country, especially because of social media. You know what I mean? And again, this is nothing on him or his fault. I just think that why would anyone, maybe his parents would have rather have some peace and quiet so they could kind of digest the situation and be left alone. But all this notoriety that he attracted because of social media and the news outlets and the NFL. I just think it was, not to make light of the situation. Yes, he could have lost his life. I get that. But what if one of us, what if one of our kids or our children had a similar accident on a football field that was not the NFL, right? Do you think, honestly, that anyone would know about it? Hell no. Not a chance. So it's a combination of the NFL being so popular around this country. American football is huge, and that was a perfect example of how big it is. And you guys probably, a lot of people don't care about football and stuff, but witnessing that event on national TV and all the publicity that event had, the consequences around the world of that event, was probably set many records, I would say. So how's it explainable? Why does that happen? I think it was just the right recipe. It was the NFL, which is huge. It was millions of people watching the game at that time because it was a very big game for the Bengals and the Bills, right? And it was just this perfect recipe for if anything were to happen, it was gonna blow up, and it blew up. You talk about a viral event. That is probably one of the biggest viral events that I've ever seen in my lifetime, honestly. And I've been around a while. It's just bizarre to me, that's all. And I just wanted to kind of see what your thoughts were. Leave a comment under there if you want to talk about it, but it's just weird to me. I mean, I know it's been abused quite a bit as far as talking about it, and it's over with. And the Bengals and the Browns, the Bengals and the Bills play again this weekend. I don't know, this video might not happen, might not be released till after that. It depends. I've got a very busy week, so I don't know if I can get this video published before the game. I think I might, because I'm going to end it short. But anyway, yeah, I just thought that was crazy to me, and I'm still like kind of shocked of how all that went down and why it was so popular and why he was just a name that you heard around the world. Very interesting to me. If you get to the NFL level as a professional player in the NFL, or even maybe baseball, any professional sport, you're pretty much a celebrity. And I think these kids don't understand, you know, I don't think they understand how well known they are. I mean, they are bigger than celebrities. Hell, the game I was watching last night, I saw Hulk Hogan, they were showing in a box. You know, I saw Tom Cruise, the game last night between, who was it? Buccaneers and Dallas. You know, of course you got Jerry Jones up there, but my goodness, it's bigger than celebrities. I think they get paid more than celebrities, honestly, by far. Some of them do. So it's huge, and I mean, I kind of envy any kid that gets the chance to be a professional athlete, because let me tell you, you got life made. My goodness. I mean, I struggle. Hell, everybody does. We struggle to make ends meet on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And these guys are getting tens and hundreds of millions of dollars playing a game. It's unbelievable. Oh man, I would hit my knees every morning and just be grateful every morning that I would have to like pinch myself to be like, if I played in the pros, I'm like, really? How awesome would that be? And a lot of them just take it for granted, and they do stupid things on the field, and they're, you know, you can't take the thug out of some players. And a lot of defensive backs are just thuggish, you know, the way they play and act and do these stupid penalties when they got life made. They don't get it, man. I don't know why they just aren't so grateful for what they have. I'll never figure that out. Maybe it's just because they're just young and that's how they grew up. They don't know any better. But, you know, they always say you can't take the ghetto out of some people no matter how much money they have, and that's true. But whatever. So that'll be enough of that. But yeah, it's leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think about that that situation, because right when I did the other video, it was that day that I was recording another ride and talking about that game, and then later in the evening, as I was pretty much editing that video, I went upstairs and started watching the game, and that happened. So I haven't really mentioned it since then, since the last video, as far as that game. So there you go. But this will be it. This is a short ride. I just kind of went around the block, and it's too, I don't know if you can see the trees. It's just too windy out here. I'm getting blown all over the place right now. Just can't tell, but I am. Oh my goodness, it is windy.